So this is the fan in question. It was given to me by somebody who was cleaning out a warehouse. And it moves some air. It's like a 3-foot fan. It's meant to be mounted like in the wall of a building and have these louvers that, you know, when the fan comes on, the louvers pop open. This is the only thing we have in the form of a guard, unless we just cut some expanded metal.
I mean,
I'm kind of worried that this will, you think that'll flow?
yeah.
It should flow plenty, huh? So there's the task, is make a frame.
That's enough offset that you're just sticking your hand in there. That's on you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I sort of think, what if we just make a fake wall, like a tubular metal square that these get sandwiched, you know, in between, and then that frame is what gets.
Do those holes line up with those holes?
I would assume so. They came together. There's a bunch of 1x2 sections here. We could just make a square out of that. Yeah, there's plenty. It's all coming together.
That's right, John.
John, this is for you. We're building a fan base for our fan base. Honestly, in reality, it's 11:30, and I think pizza's being brought here at 12. So we should try to get it done before lunch. 30 minutes. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, you know, our frame was like that, basically the same as this outer. And then we just through drill these holes and bolt and sandwich the fan to the... I'll do the frame if you do the wheels. We're gonna lose the shop!
Around to here, and then to here.
John, this is for you, our fan base. We're making a fan base for our fan base.
You're rolling.
Am I pretty?
You're beautiful.
The best set of big naturals I've seen. Yes.
We just went from fan base to OnlyFans.
Hey, I think OnlyFans is gonna pay a little better.
These came from Hobo Freight, Harbor Freight. Please sponsor us. We love you. We got them to put on these great tables that Steve built us, but I think we're gonna hold on that until we get settled, potentially in a new location, to where our tables will have a uniform height, and we can kind of reverse engineer it so all our little floating work tables are at the same height, which would be very helpful in moving around. But
What Aaron just did was gussy up our procrastination.
I sure did. I'm great at doing that. But I think I'm gonna use these little round, these are just plasma skeleton cookies that we like to save these, and by we, I mean me, because I'm a raccoon, but they always typically have a like entry point. We wanted the hole removed, and that was the work. So this is the leftover. And these little biscuits are really useful for stuff like this. So I'm gonna do it.
I am making the frame. I've been framed. So we use this 1x2 a lot for handrails. And we always end up with like offcuts.
Handrails and hand lotion.
Yeah, they also come coated in ungodly amounts of grease, which is, they'll never rust, but also I'll never get these hands clean. I'm gonna do that 4 more times and I'll have a picture frame. So I'm just using this little mitering bandsaw we have back here. Great for these little jobs. And I'm cutting miters that are not parallelogrammed. I'm cutting like a trapezoidal shape. So every 45-degree cut I make, I flip the material over so that the angles are not going in the same place. And I'm just using a scribe and a tape measure, and I'm not trying to overthink it, just get it close.
I am going to drill holes in these, and I'm going to eyeball it, which is good enough. I'm gonna try and be as lazy as I can. Who bent this? Did someone throw this and bend this? This is why we can't have nice things. Fix. That looks centered-ish. Going full lazy mode, and I'm going to do the never a great idea thing of drilling through all 4 things at once. When you got 30 minutes to get something done, gotta make some compromises somewhere. Will it fit? Will it fit? It will not fit.
I feel like I'm also racing Aaron for some reason.
Well, you guys have 15 minutes or we lose the shop.
Oh no!
This metal's gross. Filthy, nasty, gross. And acetone, not only does it smell great, but it helps make it less gross. Look at this. Also, welding dirty metal, while possible, highly unrecommended. Seemed like at my last job, that was the job description. Turn the welder up high enough to burn through all the dirt and rust.
Oh yeah, this would be terrible.
John, this is for you. This is a 30-minute build. We're building a fan base for our fan base. In fact, the valedictorian of our fan base, Mr. John Bowcock. Try not to ruin this cool hat. What a dumb decision that was. Light turquoise in the metal shop.
So you want to clamp on the pivot point so it turns like that as you're drilling. In all seriousness, like almost every injury I've gotten doing any kind of metalworking has been when I'm using my hand as a work holder. So I don't even learn from my own mistakes. But I'm going with calculated risk in this instance because this is an emergency for our fan base.
We got 15 minutes.
This is for you, John!
It worked. We have holes. Good enough.
Oh, my cuts are square. Thanks, HTP. I gotta mark holes really fast. Lay it up there, a little bit of paint. Now I know where to drill. Five minutes. Oh, geez, I should have punched it. Oh.
see any quarter 20 nuts over there?
Guys, look, we are encouraged and in many ways supported to do a lot of funny, weird, fun things around here. And I can't say enough about our amazing fan base, both on YouTube and on Patreon and the little social media stuff that we post. We really love you guys. And thank you so much, specifically to our patrons, people that have considered it worthy to give up some of their hard-earned money to support us and what we do. So thank you so much. Thank you specifically to John Bowcock, our longest-running, top-tier patron. You're the real G, John, and this is dedicated to you. All of our patrons, but John, you're the only one that's going to have their name on this thing when it's all done. We're 10 minutes over our allotted time budget. I'd just like to point out that my part's done.
Wow.
Good. You want me to speak on your behalf? Aaron would just like to thank all the patrons because they're the ones that don't call him Mario all the time. Unlike you meanies in the comments, he looks nothing like Mario.
I don't see it.
Okay, he looks a little like Mario, but that's not the point. We like that the videos are free on YouTube. We want them always to be free. Our patrons get, keep going, don't stop. Our patrons get the videos a day early. And they're ad-free. And now that Will's here, we're gonna be doing a lot more behind the scenes stuff and Patreon exclusive content.
What's up, Spike?
What are you doing?
Buddy, we are making a fan base for our fan base. This is a fan base. And you know how like online we have a fan base? Mm-hmm. This is the fan base, well, it's Space First Fan, but it's a fan base dedicated to our fan base.
Are you okay?
Sure.
Hey, Spike, we're going to need you to design a really nice faceplate for John on this ASAP.
Oh, you mean our biggest fan?
Yes.
For our fan base?
You know.
Is it an M18 or M12 fuel brushless?
Done!
Wow, that was so fast. Oh God, creosote.
Oh!
Dang, those are nice wheels. John? Waller machine.
Wake up!
Thanks to all of our fans, but especially John. John, thanks for being our #1 fan. Now we have a fan. Man, that feels good.
That feels great.
That thing's awesome. You know, my thought process in this moment was, if you paint it blue, it conveys the idea of coldness.
Look cool, stay cool.
Cool.
it's missing something.
Well, lucky for you
Yeah?
and John,
Yeah?
it's not done.
Can't wait.
Just because it's a tool doesn't mean it can't be pretty.
Tell myself in the morning every morning.
Beautiful.
I did it.
So, Mr. Spikes, what are we doing now?
Sir, what I'm doing is I'm going to be cutting a panel for Mr. Bowcock that's going to go right between the two uprights, because he is the king of the fan base.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude. I'm a fucking genius if that was the right dimension. Mr. Will came up with a sweet font and a mock-up for John Bowcock, king of the fan base. And then I repurposed some decorative details from our Mona Lisa frame previously on the Lift Art channel. So yeah, we wanted his name to be big, show him what he is. Was he our first Patreon?
No, he's our longest standing highest tier.
Longest standing highest tier on our Patreon. So this is for Mr. Bowcock. So I took Will's PDF, I turned it into a PNG just because that's what file type works. I took it into OnRoute so I can show you the process, and this is the big cheat code here for me. Take this, I ask it to trace it, and it traced. So I took this, exported it as a DXF, and the only thing I had to do is to size it correctly and then add in little connectors to make sure like the middle of the O's and the B and the A's didn't like fall out. So my job was pretty easy of just scaling it right, adding connectors, and then adding some neat little, reusing some details. Anything that has positive space surrounded completely by negative space, like the middle of an O, I have to add in some sort of connectors to hold it in place. And we've done it, this is kind of the basic way of just connectors top and bottom. We've done a couple other creative ways, like making the A look more of just like an arrow. It all depends on the context of the project and how much space we have. So like this is pretty basic right here. Sometimes I may cut it out so it looks just like this for a little bit more of a design flair, you know, something like that. But having something black and white that I can trace is the real thing. Next steps, I'm gonna throw it back into OnRoute, program it to cut it all, and then let the machine do its work.
So we want these louvers to stay like straight or a little higher. So I drill a big hole down here and pop the hole in this rear piece that connects all the louvers. We're gonna hang a cable from it and some weight. Why put all this effort into something so silly? How do we make this significant and kind of special in the weirdest possible way? So we looked on Patreon, and John Bowcock is by far and away the #1 patron we have. He's subscribed for the longest, he's the highest tier. He's a G, is what we're saying. So, all right, instead of putting all the Patreon names on there, let's just dedicate this whole silly thing to John Bowcock. So that's exactly what we're doing. John, this fan base and the custom plaque that is about to be cut on our plasma cutter and bolted to the front of it is a celebration of your commitment to supporting us on Patreon. And once we made him aware of our plans, he sent us this amazing message, which also made us aware that John's got something going on. John is pursuing a pretty cool cause. He is preparing a study into tinnitus and how using noises that are heard by tinnitus sufferers like himself. Along with audio manipulation technology, he can create beats, produce a song that sufferers will be invited to listen to, and basically see what works, see what doesn't work. So he's actively trying to come up with a solution, or at least a mitigation aid for sufferers of tinnitus, of which there are several in this shop. It's been a project he's trying to get off the ground since 2018. However, this study has been completely self-funded by John. So amazing work he's doing in our industry, for sure. Tinnitus is a pretty widespread thing. Use ear protection, even though a minute ago you just saw me using a grinder with no earplugs. Do what I say, not what I do. If there's a link at all that you can go to support John's crusade against tinnitus, check in the description for a link or any of supporting bits of media or information regarding John's mission. Sorry, excuse me. But Spike is about to cut out a very special plaque. Just wait till you see it. It's gonna be great. Stay tuned. Thank you, John. We love you.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your tinnitus.
What? I can't be in a quiet room. It is kind of miserable. I was in the military. I worked on the flight line. I was EOD. I worked on the bomb squad, or through training on that. And as a result, I can't be in a quiet room. And it is uniquely miserable. Like sometimes it is so loud and high pitched. It's a little crazy making. So I really appreciate Mr. Bowcock's efforts. It is like if there's not lots of other noise going on, it's like just a constant high pitch kind of sound in my head that sometimes it's more akin to like a bunch of marbles in a glass jar being shook really loud, and other times it's like almost like a digital kind of like dial tony kind of thing. But I don't understand the variance of what makes it sound like it does at different times. But it is it's kind of excruciating, so I often have to use noise canceling headphones a lot of times. I have noise canceling headphone or AirPods in my ears, but I'm not even listening to anything. I'm just using the noise canceling component of it, because it kind of just like takes the edges off a little bit. But I don't know. I got an appointment next month to see someone at the VA about it. Hopefully they can help. But if not, John, coming for you.
Mr. Spikes, it's plasma time.
Mr. Spike's plasma time. Thank God the Shop Saber has collision detection, because what happens is you cut out weird shapes like this, and when it rests on this, it'll sometimes fall and come up. And then before I actually got here, this did not have collision detection. So what would happen is it would just keep moving, and it could either damage this or move the material, which means you have to restart the whole cut. So now that it has collision detection, it stops automatically. You can pull the part out. That's going in the spike bucket. And then we restart. This is the latest spike bucket. This is the full spike bucket. So soon we're gonna have Aaron descend on it. But now it's as easy as restarting the program, going to go again. Ta-da! Looks sort of like a Jack Daniel's bar, you know?
Fit for a king.
Fit for a king, for sure. And so the next little piece of this puzzle is I just dry it off, and then Aaron or Tay will de-dross it. I mean, I'd say that turned out pretty nice. Good job, Will.
Good job, Swag.
Dude, that's so... I can't stop laughing at how ridiculous this is. That looks so good. Right.
Should we just keep going? Should we like backlight it?
Well, here we have between us several hours of labor that
30
probably
minutes.
should have been used doing something
30
else.
minutes.
We did build it in 52 minutes. What a fun little project. I can't stop laughing at this side. John Bowcock, king of the fan base. John, this was dedicated to you. Thank you so much for joining our Patreon a year ago and being so cool when we reached out recently to include you in this silly project. John, directly, thank you from all of us at Lift Art for supporting us for the year that you have. I think it's clear that we all would love to do something with some regularity to give back to the patrons that support us.
And make us laugh.
And boy, have we laughed a lot. Yeah, you guys are pretty sick and twisted, if I'm being honest, and it's a real joy to interact with all of you. Again, click down if there's some links that go to John, but also we want to do this kind of thing a lot more. The reason the four of us are in the shot right now and Walker's not having to do double duty is that we have the privilege of our buddy Will now here on the team doing some filming. And the whole point of that is to make more and higher quality footage for all of you.
On a serious note, a lot more Patreon exclusive stuff coming. So.
Yes, maybe once a month we pick someone from the top tier of our Patreon and we build something for you.
Immortalize them.
Put suggestions in the comments and join our Patreon. You can reach us directly there. That's it. Any last words, fellas?
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Good luck with your treatments.
Shout out to John. I think it's Seekers of Rhythm Studios.
It was Seekers of Rhythm, yeah. What you said.
Yeah.
From Spike, Aaron, Tay, and Walker, big time thank you to everyone.
To John, king of the fan base.
King of the fan base! Stay cool.